So we got a new Disney animated film right here, and yes, I feel like this is what we need from Disney right now. Since they've been buying properties, doing these unnecessary live action movies, I would love to see another original Disney animated musical film. What is up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. This is OCD Movie Reviews. My name is On the Brinkcat, and today I'm going to review the latest animated film, Wish. This is a new Walt Disney Animation Studios film that celebrates the 100th year of Disney. This movie took from two directors. One of them, his name is Chris Park, the other one I cannot pronounce, unfortunately. And this movie stars Ariana, DeBose and Chris Pine. A young girl named Asha wishes on a star and gets a more direct answer than she bargained for when a troublemaking star comes down to join her on this adventure to save her kingdom from an evil king. So we got a new Disney animated film right here, and yes, I feel like this is what we need from Disney right now. Since they've been buying properties, doing these unnecessary live action movies, I would love to see another original Disney animated musical film. And the trailers for Wish gave me exactly that, but I want this movie to be special because this is the movie that's supposed to celebrate the 100th years of Disney. So this movie's got some big shoes to fill. So despite from the mixed reviews this movie has begun, that's pretty disappointing already, I went to an advanced screening of this movie with an open mind, and there weren't actually much people seeing this film. There was only a mother and two daughters and a couple, which that is not a good sign. And after I walked out of Wish, guys, unfortunately, this is probably one of the most disappointing movies that I have seen this year because, man, this movie's got a lot of issues. Is it a terrible movie? Absolutely not. Is it the worst Disney film? I would kind of say so. I wouldn't say it's the worst. I would say it's probably the most disappointing that I have seen in a while. It's sort of like Strange World that came out last year, which that's not a good sign. But let's talk about the things that I do like about this movie. First of all, the thing that absolutely stands out in this movie is the animation. I like that Disney is taking a brand new take on this animation, mixture between 2D and 3D. It definitely looks like it came out pages of a storybook, and I really do like the animation in this movie. I sit in the front row for this movie, and you can see the details that the animation has in the background. It looks like a completely awesome art painting. But it's no surprise here, Disney is always great with its animation, but I would say the animation stands out in this movie the most. Also, the voice cast in this film, not the characters, the voice cast. Ariana DeBose as Asha is great for what she is given. I love Ariana DeBose, I loved her as Anita in West Side Story, so she has a talented voice, she has a talented personality, and she brings it all to Asha's character in this film. I would say Chris Pine as the king villain, he looks like he had the most fun out of all the cast members in this movie, because he does a pretty good job voicing over this very over-the-top villain. Now this is the casting, not the characters. I thought the casting was pretty good in this film. Also the star character, even though it is technically a character that's selling toys really, I thought the star character is really adorable in this film. When it's on screen, I can't help myself. I love adorableness. And I would say some of the musical sequences are okay. This Wish, of course, is the best song in this film, and I actually like that song. That's a pretty good song. The rest of the songs, they're unfortunately very forgettable. And this is where I'm going to get to my biggest issues for Wish here, because one of my biggest issues with this film is actually the story. Now, the concept of this movie, very interesting, especially this movie is taking a tribute plot of the wishing star that is very important to Disney in general. And unfortunately, the plot of this movie is just very bland, lifeless, and honestly really freaking boring. Because the movie story is just completely forgettable. It is one of those stories that we've seen many times before. A young girl has to save her kingdom from a threat that happens. Where have we not seen that before? Like some people say Wish is written by AI. Honestly, that's what this movie kind of felt. And I felt like if Hollywood does win the strike, that is what it's going to feel like right now with this movie, because this movie is definitely one of the most cliche Disney films that I have seen. There's nothing original, nothing different about this film. Now let's talk about the characters as well in the film. I talked about the cast, what about the characters? Just forgettable. With Asha in the film, she's definitely the most forgettable Disney princess that I have seen. She plays another quirky princess. Where have we seen that before? From Frozen or Tangled. We've seen this type of character many times before. Ariana DeBose does a good job voicing over this character, but Asha as a character, I find her completely forgettable as this hero. And the king. This is what's confusing, because the first act with the king in the film, I thought his character was the most interesting character out of this film. He has a backstory, you understand his motivation, at the same time, he's actually a pretty good villain. Then the second act comes in, and this thing comes out of nowhere and becomes this powerful force villain, and we forget about his backstory, we forget about his motivation. It just shows this movie is sort of written by AI, because it's like, alright, let's forget about that story, let's just make him this powerful, menacing villain. Which, that's not good. And like I said, the musical sequences, even though This Wish is a good song, it's still very forgettable. It's not the most memorable Disney music I've seen, which is disappointing. I want to walk out of this movie like I did with Encanto, remembering all the songs. Wish I can hardly remember all the songs in the movie, because even the songs felt very stereotypical. And just the story from this movie in general, it just felt like a bland Disney story that had so much potential, but it's just written by the wrong writers here. I would say this is definitely a movie for kids, which is disappointing because Disney is supposed to be for kids and adults alike, and unfortunately, I think kids will like this movie. Adults will just find this movie at least a bit bland, or they might just find it okay, which that is not a good sign. I'll give this movie one credit though. Since this movie is the 100th anniversary of Disney, it does pay a great tribute to all the Disney lores at the end of the movie, so I'll give this movie a plus for that. Overall, guys, Disney's Wish really disappointed me. This is definitely one of the disappointing movies that came out this year. The story of this movie is very bland, lifeless, and really freaking boring. It's a story that we've seen many times before. The characters are forgettable, even though the voice casting is pretty good. The musical sequences also are very forgettable, except for This Wish. It is a good song, I'll give it that. But it's not a terrible movie. The animation is really good in the film. And of course, this movie does pay a really good tribute to Disney in general. Unfortunately, it's just put into this really bland movie right here. Overall, I would say kids, they will enjoy this film. But I would say I'd rather watch Wonka than this film, which that review is up next, because I'm going to give Wish a C-. So guys, that is my review for Wish. Now, since it's the 100th anniversary of Disney, what is your favorite Disney film of all time, either animated or live action? Any Disney film, let me know in the comments below. Make sure you guys follow me on social media links down below. Keep contact with me, and make sure you guys subscribe to my channel for my latest movie reviews and other movie related content. Thank you guys so much for watching, and have a nice day.